rotate the camera here. Anyway. Okay, perfect. Hey everybody, the cameraman here. This is going to be a quick live stream just to let everybody know. Today I attended the matter of People versus Don Charles Pejsa. This was an incident that happened back in June 1st of this year, 2020, in which Mr. Pejsa is accused of shooting a firearm at the direction of Butte County Sheriff's deputies, as well as negligent discharge of a firearm and assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer in the state of California. So I attended the hearing today for that matter to go out to trial, but today Mr. Pejsa and his attorney, good morning everybody tuning in. This is going to be a quick live stream. I got a little bit strapped for time, but today, instead of continuing with trial, they decided to enter a plea of no contest in exchange for the charges of assault against a peace officer. Those would be dropped in exchange for that plea. So they went with that route. In my opinion, I think Mr. Pejsa was rigged and screwed over in that sense, because I mean, it's a bit of a difficult situation, because you can't be discharging firearms at police officers. I'm not trying to say that that's okay, but in this matter, in which he felt that his property was being under threat, as the area described by his attorney where he lives is full of meth addicts up in the hills, and people steal and vandalize his property all the time. Good morning, 420 RU2, 420 RU2, good morning. And on that date, on June 1st, 2020, someone called to do a welfare check on him. And when the deputies came, it appears from what's described, I mean, unless I get a hold of the body cam footage after this matter is finally rested, I don't know if the Sheriff's Department will give me that. You know, they're very sticklers about refusing to give any sort of body cam footage. We'll never really know for sure, but what it sounds like what happened is when the deputies went to Mr. Pejsa's residence and knocked on the door, they had their spotlights from their vehicles or their handheld flashlights shining in Mr. Pejsa's direction. And when he went to investigate, he wasn't able to properly determine who's there, and that's why it appeared that's why he fired in the manner in which he did. At approximately after they knocked on their door, they don't really give a time in that press statement, but he discharged a shotgun round in the direction, supposedly in the direction of Butte County Sheriff's deputies. Then at approximately 1:30 a.m. June 2nd, he shot off another round. This matter resulted into a standoff, but Mr. Pejsa, from what I've seen in court, is very hard of hearing. So it would surprise me that the bullhorn that they were using, oh wow, really? What a big surprise, time to stand. The bullhorn they were using wasn't effective enough while they were outside, because in court, his attorney for Mr. Pejsa, this man is so hard of hearing, okay, we're standing, oops, dropped the phone came off the thing. But, give you an example of how close I am right here. If you're standing right next to me, right? Okay, this is how the attorney sometimes is communicating with Mr. Pejsa. I'm gonna come and see you down at the jail. Can you hear me, Mr. Pejsa? Screaming that loud, because this man doesn't have his hearing aids. And they were requested that he be released so he can get his hearing aids. They wouldn't even let him do that. They even stipulated to the court that he's willing to do the house release, the whole 9 yards, and they wouldn't even, agree to that just for him to get his hearing aids. So it wouldn't surprise me that he didn't hear the bullhorn if he can barely hear his attorney screaming at him without the assistance of a hearing aid. And so it seems like to me a jury would have understood this 91-year-old man's condition and the totality of the circumstances. But it seems like to me the DA didn't want to go to trial on this because, well, maybe it might have been the fact that I'm covering, I've been here from day one, essentially. 2, it might have made him look bad, but 3, people forget, juries, just because a judge said, you have to find someone guilty, doesn't mean you have to find someone guilty. And that's a good way not to get picked for jury duty, if you know the certain words I'm talking about here. But yeah, so he entered a plea of no contest today. They found him, the judge found him guilty, and they didn't go into too much details about sentencing. I believe that's going to be at the next hearing, but they did. The judge did state to Mr. Pejsa that he has to report to probation, and they're going to have a meeting in the jail, and he must relinquish his firearms, fill out a firearm relinquishment form, which he apparently already has done, probably sometime today, and his attorney presented that to the judge, and then the judge ordered his attorney present that to the probation department. So that is the update for today in that matter. It's just really sad to see that it doesn't matter if you're 91 years old or 10 years old or 5 years old. The government will just prosecute you, and even if they're wrong, at the end there, that's what I call a sucker's deal, in a sense where, let's see if he's a sucker, and we can make it look good. Where, well, we'll drop this charge if you plead. Not to insult Mr. Pejsa, because the people I've seen here in the people that come to court, unlike me, they don't really know a lot about the law, and it's sad when I see attorneys tell their client when they ask, "Oh, let me ask a question." "Oh, shut up! I'll come and talk to you at the jail." Okay, well, the person wouldn't be asking a question to the attorney if he's trying to ask the judge a question. Okay, it's really about a money system here in Butte County. They have a 92% conviction rate. They don't care if you're 91. I guess their conviction rate is higher than your age, so it is what it is in that regard. But it's like, really, if they are willing to drop assault with a deadly weapon on a police officer and go with that deal, I honestly believe a jury could have exonerated Mr. Pejsa in this matter, understanding if they understood the totality of the circumstances. I don't know what the DA may have tried to suppress evidence if that went that far, but this was on for trial, to be scheduled for trial until they decided to enter a plea of no contest today in exchange for those charges being dropped. But it seems like to me, if the matter would have continued, there would have been a possibility. Again, these matters, if you don't accept these pleas, these plea deals they offer, then you're going to have to go to court on all the charges trial on all the charges, all the counts you're charged with. And so that might have seemed like a good deal for someone who's, and that's what they do. They get you in a position where you've been in jail for June, now it's, so 4 months now, and, it really puts you in a dilemma. But it seems like to me, again, people have their own will. I can't force people to do things, like the judge says in the courtroom. Has anybody forced you or, offered you anything or influenced you to make this decision? Or are you making this on your own accord? I can't force people. But it seems like to me, if this matter went to a jury trial, he could have been exonerated. And it's really sad to see that, too, guilty until innocent. And I really find disturbing is that Judge Deems, the judge in this case, he seems to have some sort of vendetta against me, because every media request he's denied. And what's sad before is he was a really cool guy. He's like, "Hey, camera, I know you're the cameraman, you have to state your name." And he's let me record in court, but until one day in July there, when I tried to hold an attorney accountable, and then that attorney went and badmouthed me in front of the judge, and the attorney and the judge, I guess, are buddies. They said, "Well, it's like that one video, the history of Japan." If you ever seen that, it's got over, I think, like 10 million views at this point, but it goes, in regards to, the whole situation with oil in Japan. America stopped helping in Japan and stopped helping Britain because our friends and our friends are not friends. So You know, they're buddy-buddy. You know, you can't go against the buddy system. So if, hey, judge, I don't like this guy, so you don't have to like him too. And so ever since that day, every single media request by Judge Deems has been denied. I filed since July 16th. Well, actually, there's 3 media requests that were approved by Judge Deems before that July 16th date for matters this month. But I highly suspect that they will be, you know, because they have the right to change the ruling at any time. You know, the docket, the minute order says approved, subject to the, you know, rules of court. But I highly suspect come the day of the actual hearing, or you know, a couple days before, I bet you they will change it to denied. But let me finish and hurry up and end this live stream and say what I want to say, because we've covered the matter that he's entered no contest, and this matter is most likely now not going to ever see a jury trial. But what I wanted to say about Judge Deems is what I found is straight. Hey, Nasty Nathaniel, here, let me add you as a moderator. What I wanted to say about Judge Deems, what I felt was very disturbing in this matter, is on Facebook, right? There's a page called Butte County Fire Crimes and Accidents. It's a big group page here in Butte County, over 50,000 members. And so on that, I see a post where Judge Deems granted bail for this woman and accused of a 288 penal code matter, which is usually, you know, molestation of children and other lewd and lascivious acts. She was allowed $50,000 bail, but remember, accused, you know, innocent, you know, accused, you know, you're innocent until proven guilty. So she gets $50,000 bail, you know, and she's, you know, involved in from my understanding, I believe this is a case where she actually did some inappropriate touching of her own children, and she is allowed her $50,000 bail. But Mr. Pejsa, in this manner, a 91-year-old man who can't hear and is extremely at risk of being killed in the Butte County Jail by their sloppy quarantine practices and failure to prevent the spread of the virus. That's why there has been over 100 confirmed cases in the Butte County Jail, both of deputies and inmates. He doesn't give him bail, but he'll allow, you know, a woman accused of molesting her own kids. If this is the correct case, it's a 288 matter. I know that for a fact, you know, for sure. You know, I saw the, you know, the post, you know, the penal code that said 288. But, you know, not to say that, you know, allegedly shooting at a sheriff's deputy is, you know, any lesser of a crime than, you know, molesting a minor. But how is it fair that she got bail, but he didn't? How is that fair? You know, that seems to me, you know, to be some sort of cruel and unusual punishment. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I got to the point where the matter has been entered as no contest, and so the matter, my coverage of this matter, appears to be coming to an end soon. I believe after this 22nd court date will be the last of this matter. Let me see what you said here, 420 RU2 aside. So, all right, everybody, I'm gonna peace out.